hello to my little friend! Motherfucker!
You've quoted the lines, you've memorized the scenes, and you think you know exactly what the movie is about. But what if we told you that some of the biggest, most iconic films in cinema history are routinely and completely misunderstood? We're talking about movies where the real message is the exact opposite of what most fans think. From a movie about consumerism that's been mistaken for a guide to cool masculinity, to a violent epic that was actually a massive joke on its audience, these 5 films have been totally warped by pop culture. Get ready to have your favorite movie shattered and then rebuilt with the real meaning behind it. Trust me, if one of your favorite movies is on this list, your entire perspective on it will change. The next time you watch it, you'll see it in a completely different way. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into the deep, often muddy waters of cinematic interpretation. Sometimes, a director's message gets lost in the spectacle, the violence, or the sheer coolness of the characters. These films become so popular that their true, often critical or satirical meanings are completely drowned out by the noise. Movies that pull you in so deeply with their brilliant storytelling and incredible performances that you completely forget about the main message behind them. We've picked 5 massive films that are widely misquoted, misunderstood, or simply worshipped for the wrong reasons. We're going to break down the original intent of the director or writer and expose the real hidden meaning that many viewers completely miss. Get ready to challenge everything you thought you knew. But before we uncover the first misunderstood masterpiece, if you love breaking down film facts and challenging conventional wisdom, please smash that like button right now. And of course, subscribe the channel and ring the notification bell so you don't miss our next video. Your support gives me the energy to keep going every single day and create even better and higher quality content for you. Thank you so much for being here. Let's do it. Movie 1, Scarface, 1983.
Antonio Montana. And you?
Let's start with a classic whose entire message is flipped by its biggest fans, Brian De Palma's Scarface. The widespread popular interpretation, particularly among young men, is that it's a celebration of Tony Montana, a rags-to-riches success story about achieving power and wealth, a cool hustle fantasy. Tony Montana's poster is literally on the walls of people who admire his ambition. The actual meaning is the exact opposite. Scarface is a brutal, cautionary tale about the self-destructive nature of greed and excess. Tony Montana is not a hero. He's a paranoid, self-pitying monster who slowly destroys every relationship he has, sacrifices his morality, and eventually dies alone in a mountain of cocaine and bullets. Director Brian De Palma and screenwriter Oliver Stone intended for the audience to watch Tony's descent with disgust and horror, not admiration. The movie's famous ending is the ultimate warning. The American dream pursued through crime and excess leads only to absolute ruin. This is one of those moments where Al Pacino's brilliant acting makes you see the character not as a monster, but as someone you can actually relate to. It's where the line between good and evil starts to blur. Movie 2, The Shining, 1980.
Here's Johnny!
Stanley Kubrick's The Shining is a horror masterpiece, but the popular misinterpretation is that it's primarily a story about a haunted hotel that drives Jack Torrance insane with ghosts. While the ghosts are definitely there, that's the simple layer of the terror. The deeper, widely missed meaning is that The Shining is fundamentally about the cycle of domestic abuse and generational trauma. The Overlook Hotel acts as a catalyst, but Jack's rage, alcoholism, and abusive tendencies are already present. The ghosts are often seen as external manifestations of Jack's internal demons and the demons passed down through generations. The film subtly focuses on Jack's failure as a husband and father who isolates his family and turns his anxiety inward until it explodes into violence. It's a terrifying psychological study of a man becoming his worst self, with the supernatural elements acting as a dramatic yet secondary background layer to the real human horror. I'm sure you never even imagined that such a deep story was hidden behind this movie. But trust me, after watching this video, if you go back and see the film again, you'll realize the real story was right there in front of you the whole time. You just never noticed it. Movie 3, American Psycho, 2000.
My name is Patrick Bateman. I'm 27 years old.
Mary Harron's adaptation of American Psycho is often misread as a simple gore fest or a dark comedy about a serial killer. Some fans, particularly those focused on aesthetics, see Patrick Bateman as a darkly charismatic figure whose intense focus on style is somehow admirable. The real meaning is a razor-sharp satire on 1980s yuppie culture and toxic masculinity. Bateman is the ultimate representation of the vapid, interchangeable, and morally empty Wall Street broker. The film constantly blurs the line between his real and imagined murders to show that, in the world of high finance, his violent fantasies are practically indistinguishable from his normal, narcissistic, consumer-driven life. Herron and the book's author, Bret Easton Ellis, are using Bateman's psychopathy to mock the emptiness and moral bankruptcy of a generation obsessed with business cards and designer suits. It's not about the murders, it's about the fact that no one notices the monster because they are too busy looking at his expensive clothes. This movie perfectly reflects the reality of our world today, that most of the wolves you see aren't the ones who look dangerous or scary. In fact, it's usually the ones dressed in sharp suits, the ones whose expensive cologne stays in your memory for years. Movie 4, Starship Troopers, 1997.
Who's top kick?
Paul Verhoeven's Starship Troopers is perhaps the most successfully misunderstood film ever made. On the surface, it looks like a fun, cheesy, brainless action flick about hot high school graduates fighting giant alien bugs in space. Many people still watch it purely for the B-movie alien invasion spectacle. The actual meaning is a complete, brilliant satirical takedown of fascism, military propaganda, and the glorification of war. Verhoeven, who grew up in Nazi-occupied Holland, deliberately made the human military look and act like perfect Aryan ideals, mimicking the chilling aesthetics and shallow idealism of Nazi-era propaganda films. The absurd, cheerful news bulletins and the ridiculous heroism are meant to be a horrifying parody, showing how easily a society can be manipulated into blindly supporting total war. When you laugh at the over-the-top violence, you're laughing along with Verhoeven's dark joke about the dangers of extreme nationalism. And that's exactly what makes you start to wonder. Maybe the messages these movies are trying to send have been there all along. You just never noticed them. Or maybe you simply chose to see the film for what it appears to be, nothing more. Movie 5, Fight Club, 1999.
The first rule of Fight Club is, you do not talk about Fight Club.
And taking the #1 spot is the most notoriously misunderstood film of all time, David Fincher's Fight Club. The widespread fan interpretation is that it's a cool movie about rebellion, finding masculine freedom, and starting a fight club to break free from society's rules. Tyler Durden is frequently seen as a hero, a lifestyle guru, and an aspiration. The definitive, real meaning is that the film is a psychological warning against toxic masculinity and the failure of individual rebellion. Tyler Durden is not a hero. He is a delusion, an unstable fantasy born from the narrator's despair and the societal disease of consumerism. The film is a tragic tale of the narrator hitting rock bottom, creating a monstrous alter ego that quickly spirals into a destructive, fascist movement, Project Mayhem. Fincher explicitly stated that the film is a critique of the very idea of an armed, organized rebellion led by an unstable man. The ending isn't a victory for rebellion, it's a mental breakdown where the narrator finally rejects his inner terrorist. That's exactly the point. Sometimes you get so deeply pulled into the story, so lost inside the main character's journey, that the line between right and wrong, good and evil starts to fade away. And before you know it, you begin to see the world exactly the way the character does, through their eyes, through their pain, and that's the real magic of cinema. Which one of these movies completely changed the way you see cinema? Let me know in the comments. I really want to hear your thoughts. And if there's any other movie you think deserves to be on this list, drop it down below. If the support is strong enough, I'll definitely make a part 2. Alright, that's it for this video. All the facts and behind-the-scenes stories of the movies you love. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like the video to support your favorite genre, subscribe to the channel, and if you have a friend who's a fan of any of these films, make sure to share this video with them so they can discover the main message behind their favorite movie too. See you in the next video. Sacho Visions.